Welcome and thanks for joining us here on the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Deb Gillard, your host of the program. Today is Wednesday, October 22nd. We are very glad you're joining us today, whether it be on Charter Channel 8 here in the Owatonna area. Of course, we're on cable TV 6 days a week, and you can also find us out on the internet. Of course, we have a Facebook page. If you can find us there, Owatonna Today Show, and decide that you want to like us, we would encourage you to do so, and that way you'll get a little notification when new programs are uploaded for that week if there's things you would like to view, and then to pass along to others if you think they're important to someone who may not be in the Charter Channel viewing area. And then we're all over the internet. You can find us on YouTube. Head to the YouTube channel, type Owatonna Today Show in the search box, and you will find us and our recent shows there, and also Leanne's company, the thirdhandvideo.com. Is that what it is? The Third Hand Video? Yep, I had to have it. All these are all spelled out, by the way, so once you put them in there, then you're good to go. thirdhandvideo.com, and there again, too, you will have access to the most recent shows. If you have ideas for guests or show topics, things that you think would be interesting for us to look into to have on the program, we invite your comments and suggestions. You can do that by sending an email to us at owatonnatoday@charter.net, or by calling Leanne, our producer, at 390-5751. We have a very good show for you today. We're going to devote the whole program to our City Council at-large candidates, so we'll be getting to know them a little bit better. We'll take a break for our supporters, though, first of all, and then we'll be coming back to do some kind of meet and greet, so please stay with us.
Hi, I'm Jody Voisin with the staff at Fairview Animal Medical Center, your other family doctor. Fairview Animal Medical Center is a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
When using a fire extinguisher, we suggest using the pass system. Pull the pin at the top of the extinguisher that keeps the handle from being accidentally pressed. Aim the nozzle toward the base of the fire. Squeeze the handle to discharge the extinguisher. If you release the handle, the discharge will stop. Sweep the nozzle back and forth at the base of the fire. After the fire appears to be out, watch it carefully since it may reignite. If you have the slightest doubt about whether or not to fight the fire, get out and close the door behind you. This has been a safety message from the Owatonna Fire Department.
Hi, my name is Dave Olson and I'm with R&K Electric, where we provide power to the people. We're proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Olson of Mayo Clinic Health System in Owatonna. We know that good health goes beyond having a quality clinic and hospital in our community. That's why United Way is convening community partners to reduce obesity, diabetes, and heart disease in Steele County. At the same time, United Way is funding programs that increase access to health and dental care right now. We're proud to be a partner of the United Way Community Campaign Leadership Team, and we encourage you to join us by giving a gift this year.
Welcome back. Thanks again for joining us on this Wednesday, October 22nd. We're enjoying a lovely fall week, and it is, of course, election season. And to that end, we have a number of shows here during this time of the year that we allow our candidates that are running for various offices to come and talk with us so we can get to know them a little bit better. I will introduce Ted Radke first, directly to my right, and then Paul Swenson, and we're going to get to know you a little bit better. I do want to let our voters, or our viewers and voters know that we are missing two of our candidates today. Kevin Prestegard was unable to make it. Jeff Okerberg is the other one running, and he had a personal matter and also not able to be with us today. So again, hopefully you've had an opportunity to hear them or still will do so. But again, we do want you to be the most informed voter that you possibly can. But we're going to have Ted and Paul talking with us today, and I think we'll just start out with a little bit of kind of who you are. And Ted, you can start us off kind of where you're from, kind of a little bit about your personal life so people get to know you, where you work, that kind of thing.
Okay, I originated out of a small town called Elgin, Minnesota, which was northeast of Rochester.
Okay.
I was a dairy farmer with my father and my brother, and then back in the 80s when the industry went through its first go-around of depression, that we decided to sell our dairy cows and get out, and I had an opportunity to work for a John Deere dealer out of Byron, Minnesota, which was owned by Mike Veldman and his brother.
Okay.
And the second go-around hit in the mid-'80s, and that dealership closed, and then I had a year that I worked a couple of part-time jobs, still wanting the need to go back to agriculture, and turned around and got a hold of Scott Veldman, which was at that time my former employer, and asked him for a possible job reference. I kind of wanted to get back into the ag industry again, and well, he never actually gave me that reference, because a week later his brother Mike called and asked me if I'd be interested in taking a position in Hollandale. And without much further ado, my wife was a nurse at St. Mary's. We had a 6-year-old daughter, but I drove down to Hollandale. I was familiar with it, and we decided it was a small community, a good place to raise children, so we moved. And I've seen Veldman Equipment branch out into Ag Power Enterprises, and I have got almost 30 years with that organization, coming up from truck driver to setup mechanic, and now I've been in the parts department almost 20 years.
Okay.
So got involved in city government in Hollandale because Hollandale didn't have cable television, and I didn't know why, and I went to a couple council meetings and never really got the right answers, so I decided the only 2 positions open were for mayor and for city council, and everybody said, why don't you run for mayor? And I thought, well, I've never done it before, but I'll try it. I did
Why
it,
not?
and 2 years later we had cable in town.
Okay.
And so that was basically where I got started in city government. Since I've been there, I've been through 3 disasters. We went through the disastrous Halloween blizzard that everybody remembers. Then we had the flood in 2004, which you also experienced up here. And then we had the tornado in 2010. So I've worked quite cautiously and hard for the city, and I actually enjoyed doing it, and I still enjoy it. I was glad to see things develop. We developed the city park and things like that. So if I could see things happening while I was still mayor, I felt, well, I must be doing a pretty good job. They keep voting me in, and they seem to be happy. So
All right.
that's about the gist of it right there.
Okay, and that's what's really just led the road to
Yeah,
pave
well,
the road when
actually,
this position came
the
open?
road that I got up here with, my wife passed away in 2010, and I met a lady here that was a widow from Owatonna, and we got married last December, and I moved here in January.
Congratulations.
And then September rolled around, and I was thinking, oh, wow, I kind of miss that, not being involved in the city, so that's how I ended up running for councilman at large.
Well, it makes a lot of sense, and that's a good background. That's his story, and he's sticking to it, right?
pretty
Thank you
much.
very much. And Paul, same thing. If you could let us know a little bit about yourself, kind of what brought you, a little bit about your personal and work life, whatever you want to share, and then kind of what brought you to thinking about running for this position. Sure.
First, I want to thank Owatonna today for giving us this opportunity to talk to the voters of Owatonna.
Our pleasure.
And I was born in Rochester, grew up in North Dakota, but Glenise and I have been fortunate to call Owatonna our home for 35 years. We've raised our family here, and it's been great. I've had the pleasure of having the same career for the whole 35 years I've lived here. I'm a financial planner and work with people's finances daily. And now we've got, our 3 daughters have moved away, but we have 4 grandsons that love to come back. And their favorite game in Owatonna is to lose Grandpa in Kaplan's Woods.
Ouch.
So they like coming here, and we love having them come.
Of course, of course. Well, very good. And what led you to seeking a position on the city council?
Well, I've been involved in observing the city council and giving them citizen input for nearly a decade. And I just felt at this time it was the right opportunity to step up and serve my community.
Okay, very good. Thank you for both of you. We'll kind of keep going with you then, Paul, for just a minute. What would you feel that you say are the strengths that you would bring to this position?
I think the strengths are that I tend to study the matter and bring informed decision-making to the table.
Okay.
The city has a lot of complicated matters in dealing with developing its infrastructure and its roads and its stormwater systems and planning. And I think we have to, as council members, do our homework so we're making the right decisions for Owatonna to move forward.
Okay, so doing your homework. And how about you, Ted? What would be the strengths that you feel that you really bring to the position?
Well, I've been in a leadership role as a city leader, even though it was a small community, for almost 25 years. So I've got the experience, but I'm a good listener. And I guess we didn't have the business end of the community as much as you do here in Owatonna, because we're so small and we're so far off the interstate. And that is really, I think, a great asset for Owatonna to have the business development and community growth that they have. But the thing that I guess I always felt that I was very good at is I'm a good listener, and I was a people person, and I'm also a person for the people. The people need to have a voice too. It can't always be business related. And when Paul brought up the infrastructure, that is probably the one thing I've seen in the short time that I've been here is there is need for some road repair within the city structure. I mean, the business areas are well structured, but it seems like the residential areas could do a little work, and that would be one thing that I would like to work on.
Okay. And we're going to get into some of those issues. So we'll segue right into that. If you could, and we'll get to a couple of different issues, but what would you say is the most important or pressing issue that Owatonna may be facing right now, Ted?
Well, I think there are infrastructure issues.
Okay.
And I think that's probably not as large an issue as someone thinks, but especially with the water. I thought moving from Hollandale to Owatonna, I wouldn't have to worry about water again, and then we had that downstorm, or that downpour of the rain here early in the summer, and I had water in my backyard, and I noticed that all my neighbors had the same amount of water in all their backyards, and I realized it's not an easy fix. It's something that takes time, and as Paul said, it takes study. You can't just go and throw money at it. You have to look at the study, and you have to have an area to hold that water.
Oh, absolutely. And Paul, let's go to you then. What do you think is and again, we will get to some other issues as well. I want to give you guys plenty of opportunity here to talk about some other issues as well. But if you could identify what you feel is the single, maybe most important issue as you look at being in this position.
I think it is prioritizing our planning and our infrastructure. We can have parks and we can have all of the businesses, but if we don't have a good transportation system to move the people around or to control the stormwater, then we won't be able to get to those places and enjoy them. So I think it is infrastructure and prioritizing ourselves so that we put our resources there and get that fixed up and working right first.
Okay. Well, you're kind of on the same page there. We're going to take our break right now for our supporters. When we come back, we'll have a chance to talk about a few other issues, and so let's do that. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Brandy Wilker, and I play Lottie Grady.
And I'm Tim Fitzgerald, and I play Henry Orman Royd in LTO's current production of When We Are Married, directed by Larry Ostermeyer and sponsored by JC Press and Wells Fargo.
Performances of When We Are Married will be held Friday and Saturday, October 24th and 25th at 7:30 p.m., with a matinee on Sunday, October 26th at 2 p.m.
And again the following Thursday through Saturday, October 30th and 31st and November 1st.
Tickets are available at the LTO box office by calling 451-0764 or online at littletheaterofowatonna.org. Hey.
Oh,
Don't miss LTO's production of When We Are Married. I'm not marrying him.
Oh, but why not?
I don't know. I keep falling asleep.
Just a bit of cheer.
Stop drinking.
Hi, my name is Dave Efforts with TPS Insurance. We're here to handle all your insurance needs. We are a very proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
I didn't just want another job, I wanted a career, so I expressed myself.
I was new to town and I didn't know where to turn for a job, so I decided to express myself.
I decided to express myself, and they helped find the right career for me.
Express Employment Professionals is in contact with thousands of companies in need of quality employees. Come in now and get the job you deserve.
Express yourself today.
Hi, this is Doug Johnson at the Owatonna Business Incubator, a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show. We'd like to welcome you to the incubator. If you're a small business, whether you're existing or a startup, we can help you with office space, manufacturing or warehouse, and free confidential counseling.
Hi, my name is Ryan Gillespie with Bremer Bank Mortgage. By trusting your home loan needs to Bremer Bank, you are guaranteed a personalized, straightforward, and honest experience from application to closing. We look forward to guiding you through your next home purchase or refinance.
The Owatonna Foundation's mission is to support community progress, and the foundation has been doing just that since 1958 in the Owatonna community. By issuing over $11 million in grants, the Owatonna Foundation has helped organizations fulfill their goals in the areas of community, recreation, the arts, and education. Please consider a tax-deductible donation, a memorial, or possibly including the foundation in your estate planning so that together we can continue to make a positive, lasting impact in our community. Preserving the past, building the present, funding the future, that is what your Owatonna Foundation is all about.
Welcome back on this Wednesday, October 22nd. Again, reminding our viewers that we are talking with two of our at-large city council candidates. Those that are not here are Jeff Okerberg and Kevin Prestegard, who were unable to be with us today. But we do have Paul Swenson and Ted Radke. So we're going to continue to talk with you two gentlemen who have plenty of airtime here to talk about issues and topics and things that you want. So I'm going to go back to you, Paul, now, since you finished up the last question. Beyond the infrastructure, which you kind of both addressed, what's another issue that you feel would be very important as maybe comes in second to that, a significant challenge or something that we're facing?
Well, obviously the infrastructure costs money. So I think it's natural that we have to pay attention to our financial resources and be financially responsible with our taxpayers' investment in the community. So I think looking at the overall financial picture and making sure that we're prioritizing our resources in a balanced way so that we invest in infrastructure where we need to, and maybe it means we have to back off some other areas. Another area that I see affecting our citizens dramatically at this time is the cost of health care. I work in that industry. Our premiums are much higher than our neighbors to the north and to the west of us, and we have to address that as a community. The industry isn't going to fix it for us. So paying attention to that, I think, would be critical in the next several years.
Okay. Any particular answers or good ideas that you have that you plan on bringing to the table?
Well, I think one thing we've never had in our area, and it's part of the reason for our cost problem, is we have no competition as it relates to medical care. Okay. I'm not saying that the Owatonna Clinic doesn't do a wonderful job, as does the hospital. But what those other communities have that have lower costs than us is competition. To my knowledge, our Economic Development Committee has never asked a competitor to come to town. So I'll put that forward. We'll find a way to hopefully lower these costs because they are dramatic.
Okay. Okay. Very important. Thank you. And Ted, if we could have you either address something that Paul just spoke to, and that would be fine too, and then we can move on from there, but or to address another issue or challenge that you feel is particularly important facing our citizenry at this time.
Well, I think Paul addressed that issue on medical care quite well, and it's like any business. Sometimes when you have a center fix with only one business there, well, then you've got nowhere else to go to, so the prices and the rates get set. And I guess the other thing that I'm looking at, and I've watched a couple of council meetings, is that they're just now beginning to open up negotiations with Jaguar Communications on another cable franchise. I really think that is an excellent idea. In Hollandale, when I stood on the platform to get cable to Hollandale, there was only one cable company that would come to Hollandale. Okay. And those rates stayed pretty reasonable for that entire time. But then that cable company got sold to another one, and just in my term that I was there, it was sold 7 times.
Oh my goodness.
To 7 different companies, and every time it was sold, there was another cable increase, where it got to the point where even I, who stood on a platform to get cable, went to DirecTV because it was $50 cheaper a month than what the cable was. And I see the charter bill here now, and I'm not saying that it's out of line, but I'm seeing that, you know, Jaguar could be a welcome relief to those people that still want to have cable and don't want to have a dish on their home.
Okay, so kind of bringing that competitive aspect, and maybe in a little bit different areas that you both addressed, and some similar, bringing that, kind of keeping that in the forefront. Anything else, Ted, that you think is something else that you would be looking at having some strength in addressing? And
the only thing, where my strengths lie, is the fact that I've been in government for a while, only as a part-timer, of course, just as this job would be. But my strength really lies in the infrastructure.
Okay.
That I know some some things about that because we went through it with the flood mitigations and stuff like that. So I'm still so new to the community yet that I'm still learning things.
Right.
But I'm a pretty fast learner. And like I said, I'm a really good listener.
Okay, good enough. And Paul, anything else that kind of comes to the forefront as you think about other issues and challenges that we may have?
Going along with the financial side and the infrastructure and the healthcare is planning. I sat in on a planning commission meeting this last week, and we had a great developer standing up to say, we want to develop this. What was intriguing to me is we had neighbors from every single side of the property there saying, wait a minute. And I think they were there because they have concerns about water, they have concerns about roads. And what my takeaway from that meeting is we need a plan. We need to plan for these developments so the neighbors can feel confident when somebody's going to start developing. Another topic that came up this weekend, I had volunteers out doing literature drops in the neighborhoods, and people were out in the great weather, so they were visiting. And the north side, if you live on the north side of town and you have to use 26th Street, you understand the problem at County Road 45 and the interstate and the service roads. And they said, ask Paul what he's going to do about that. Well, I don't have the solution right off the top of my head, but I understand your problem. Waiting in that long line isn't right. But it's a perfect example of planning or the lack of it.
Okay.
We developed that north side community and did a great job. But we didn't plan for those intersections, and now we have the resulting traffic hangups that people are frustrated with.
Yeah.
So that'll be on the top of the list, is to get with the county, because it's a county road, intersects county roads, intersects the state road system. So we all have to work together to bring that solution to the people.
Okay. And you bring up a good point. Are there collaborations and partnerships that you see with various entities such as the county and any others that would come to the front of your mind that you see us working better at or doing something differently?
I think collaboration is important, and we've done a lot of it over the years. But times are changing. Just recently, the county announced they're going to contract out, I believe it's their seal coating. We currently partner with them in some of that equipment.
Okay.
So if they're not going to use that equipment, what are we going to do with it? So I think we have to stay in step with them, and yes, we have to continue to work well together to keep our communities as good as they've been.
Okay. And how about you in regards to that, Ted? Partnerships and collaborations that you see that might be helpful, that we either are doing and should continue, or some that we should maybe
I always think that if you can partner with somebody, we partnered with Riceland Township to build a joint government center in Hollandale because both of our facilities were not handicap accessible and they were dilapidated. So we partnered with them to build a government center, so we had a place for the voting for the residents of the township and the city, and it turned out to be a beautiful building. It's right next to the city park. It's just perfect. So I say that any time that you can partner, whether it's with the county, with the state, even with the federal government, for funding or anything like that, though funding a lot of times from state and federal is your taxes. It's just everyone knows that.
Yep.
But sometimes that help is necessary and needed. So anytime you can partner with anything to try to get the end result to work, that's what you want to do.
Okay, and you have some experience doing that as well. We started with you, Ted. We're going to finish by wrapping up and just kind of making a plea to our viewers and your voters in regards to why they should vote for you. And since you started, we'll start with Paul for this section. And if you want to just go ahead and address our viewers and take about 30 seconds and let them know why they should vote for you, Paul.
Sure. Thanks, Deb, and thanks Owatonna today for hosting us. I want to work with you and for you on the City Council. My goal is to keep Owatonna the safe and peaceful and prosperous town that I was allowed to raise our family in. And I want to do that in such a way that our government has a positive impact on you and does its business in a cost-effective way. So I encourage you to get out and vote November 4th, and I respectfully ask for your support.
Thank you, Paul. And Ted, we'll do the same. We'll let Leanne adjust the camera so you can look right into the eyes of the viewers and ask the same thing or mention the same things.
Well, I want to thank you again for having us today.
You're welcome.
But I would do well for the city if elected. I would be there for the constituents. I ask you for your vote. Like I said, I'm a people person. I always had an open door policy and an open phone policy. So if I would be elected, I would be there to support the residents of this community as best I know how.
All right, Ted and Paul, thank you so much. I think you've given our viewers a good glimpse into who you are, what you would do for us in the city council position, and best of luck in the upcoming election to both of you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll take a break for our Owatonna Today Show supporters, and we'll be right back to wrap it up for today.
Hi, Warren Abraham, Abraham Consulting Technologies, your one-stop technology shop. We support the Owatonna Today Show.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress.
Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you in mind in everything we do.
Owatonna Public Utilities.
Wrapping things up for today, we're going to remind our viewers again that the 2014 Steele County Toys for Tots Family to Family application is now available in our community. Parents and guardians must complete that application. It is available from the following locations: right here in Owatonna at the Public Library, the Salvation Army, Steele County Clothesline, Steele County Food Shelf, Steele County Human Services, Steele County Public Health, also at the Workforce Development Center, and in the outlying areas, Blooming Prairie Public Library, Ellendale Post Office, and Medford City Hall. Please remember that the registration deadline for the 2014 Toys for Tots Family to Family is November 19th. Distribution of those items and with families will be on December 18th, 19th, and 20th of this year. Firefighter of the Year is Todd Ulrich, and the Owatonna Exchange Club cordially invites you to the Firefighter of the Year banquet. It is going on tomorrow evening, Thursday, October 23rd. It will be at the Eagles Club here in Owatonna. Tickets are $20 and can now be purchased at the Owatonna Fire Department, Radke Jewelers, and the City Administration Office at the West Hills. If you have more questions in regards to it, either you can email Corky Colander at the city office or give her a call at 451-4287, and she'll give you some more information on that. The Owatonna Parks and Recreation Department is having their trick-or-treat trail coming up this Saturday, October 25th, starting at 3 o'clock and going until 5, a very, very family-friendly event, starting at the Morehouse Chalet, where there will be activities, crafts, snacks, and then you can head down the family-friendly spooky trail towards Lake Colmeyer. Along the trail, visit local businesses for trick-or-treating, crafts, cupcake decorating, face painting, photo shoot, and all sorts of fun activities. So it is definitely a family event. All ages are welcome, and maybe you'll get lost in Kaplan's Woods like Paul was. His grandkids take him. No, that's not part of the trick-or-treat trail. Also, Riverbend Nature Center is having their version of kind of the same thing. They are having what they call their family-friendly fall festival called Bats, Bones, and Bonfires, 4 to 8 at Riverbend Nature Center. It includes all sorts of activities that are fun for young and old. So if you can't make it to one, you might want to make it to the other, or both, and you can give them a call at the Riverbend Nature Center in Faribault, 332-7151 for more information. That'll wrap it up for today. Coming up on Friday, please join us. We will have a Bremer Bank update with the United Way, and also future of Radke Jewelers. I had to think for a second there to remember what else we were talking about. That will be Friday's program. We'll see you then.